Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the backrooms in Minecraft step by step, block by block, for all of your city building needs. First, I will show you how to make the backrooms themselves. This is based on the original image, which I have turned into a small incompletable maze. I have also made Captain Clark's furniture store to place the backrooms in. This was inspired by the trailer for the upcoming, or possibly now released, movie, including the interior as well. Fun fact, I was hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. If you spotted me, leave a comment down below. The first person to get it right will have their comment pinned. Also, leave a comment if you saw the secret sign and what was written on it. This is the amount of space required to make both the backrooms and the furniture store. I would recommend copying this grid into your world, and if you do, to find the starting position, begin at the back left hand corner of the grid, count to the right, find the 7th block, and then count inwards and find the 4th block. That is where we start. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. To begin, we will make the backrooms themselves. To start with, we will remove a row of 19 grass/ground extending to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We will then dig forwards by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We will dig to the left by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We will then create 3 dirt paths extending left. 1, 2, 3. Then we will dig a further 7 rows to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dig forwards by 3. 1, 2, 3. And dig backwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then dig to the right by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let's just fill all of this in with stripped birch wood. The end result should look like this. Next, we want to return all the way over to this position and dig a further 4 blocks to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then dig forwards by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dig to the left by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then create 3 grass path. 1, 2, 3. Or is it dirt path? It's dirt path. I swear that once upon a time this was grass path. Then continue and dig to the left by 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then dig forwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then simply dig all the way back over to the right. And join forwards to here. And all the way over here on the left, we want to dig backwards and join all the way back to where we first started. Then we can fill all of this in with the stripped birch. The end result should look like this. Next, we are going to replace all of the grass block inside of our walls with dirt path. I've got to say, I don't often create dirt path using a shovel. It feels kind of weird to do. Next, we are going to place a row of birch planks on top of our stripped birch. I'm trying to be super careful and not place it on the dirt path, because then I'll just have to redo it. Mildly stressful. Next, we are going to place a row of 1, 2, 3 stripped birch on top of every single one of our birch planks. I'm going to start by placing it all the way around the outside, and then I think that I will focus on the inside afterwards. That is the outside done. There is actually one area in which we do not want to place a whole set of 3 stripped birch, and I'm saving it until last, as it is the wall that you can see in the original Backrooms image. So this one right here, we are just going to place 1, 2 rows of stripped birch on top of, and we can't really get a good angle because of this wall, but that is again, that's part of the original image wall. Next, we can make the roof, which is made by placing bone block, not this way, but this way. So we want it to go kind of like long ways, front to back, just like so. And I just placed that initial row because we needed something to place it on. And this is another thing that I don't do very often, actually. This might be the first time that I've used bone in Minecraft. Makes a very satisfying sound, which is kind of oddly disturbing when you think about it. I'm actually going to try and not cover up the wall blocks so that we can still see the general maze structure, but that is going to be a little bit complicated. On second thought, I'll just leave it. I kind of wanted to still see the top of the walls to help us place not only the entrance into the Backrooms, but also it would help us place the lights, but we can just figure that out later. So let's replace this, and there we go. And just because I'm going to remove this original row. Perfect. So the entrance into the backrooms is roughly in the middle of this wall. So let's just do a little test. That was very close. So the entrance is actually here, and I'll just repair the wall just like this. It doesn't really matter what you make this block because the door's going on top of it. But here we go. This is the actual backrooms almost complete. So all we have to do is add some lights. The lights are situated above the end of this short wall here. So we leave a gap of 2 from this wall. So 1, 2, and then we have an ochre frog light here, and then a gap of 1, 2, ochre frog light, gap of 1, 2, ochre frog light, and that is the only light inside the entire maze. So we can seal that up, and as you can see, it's just very eerie in here. And the way that we have it is obviously we've got just some darkness to the left and right, and then this is the actual like main room, which once again we can't really see that well, and it also looks a little bit better with shaders, by the way. So there we go. It's a bit of a better color match, especially with the ceiling as well. But yeah, this is very cool. I really like this, and the reason that it's a maze is that if we walk through this way and we walk to the end of this dark wall here, and just all the way around here, like we just end up doing a loop and a loop and a loop. And if I was better with redstone, I would love it if I could somehow like hide the door, like if the door kind of just like faded back into a wall or something. So if there's any redstoners out there, that would be absolutely awesome to do. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the entire backrooms portion of this tutorial complete. Next, we will escape the backrooms by removing these 2 blocks right here. This is where the entrance will be. And then we have to make the actual furniture store which houses the maze. So to begin, we are going to remove 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks in front of our doorway and replace those with grey wool. We will then remove 2 more rows, 1, 2, and replace those with smooth stone. We will then remove 8 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we will replace those with grey wool again. And then we will remove 1, 2, 3 rows, 1 block to the right, and we will replace all of that with smooth stone. So we have just created a row all the way out to where the main entrance will be. So directly to the right of this smooth stone will be a smooth quartz block. We will then place 5 cyan terracotta to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a smooth quartz block, and then 8 cyan terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We will leave that for a second and then come all the way back over to the left, where we will place a smooth quartz block to the left of our smooth stone. Leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, place another, and then 3 cyan terracotta, 1, 2, 3, and then a smooth quartz, and then 8 cyan terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we are going to extend the cyan terracotta all the way to the back of the build. So all the way here. And then we are simply just going to extend along the back of the backrooms. And we are going to connect all the way to the opposite side. So this is kind of like the floor plan for the inside of the rooms. So there we go. Next, we are going to place a row of 6 light grey concrete on top of this corner block here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then placed on top of this will be an upside down stone stair. And on top of that, a polished tuff slab. And the reason that I'm telling you this is because we are going to extend all of these blocks all the way to the back of the build. All the way along the back. and then all the way back to the front again. And that will be the sides of the build, minus the front, of course, pretty much complete. So on top of this block, we'll stick 5 light grey concrete. We need to place an upside down stone stair here as well, and then on top of that a polished tough slab, and then that makes it nice and easy for us to just kind of go back on ourselves, and we can just go back and forth until all of these walls have been completed. And now the upside down stairs. I don't know why I deleted that first one, because they will wrap around to the actual entrance area, so it doesn't really matter which way they orientate. Fun fact, I did actually make the original version of the building stone, only because we have the upside down stone wall or stone stairs accents at the top of the wall, but it didn't look quite right, so I swapped it to light grey concrete instead, and it looks a little bit better in my opinion. There we go. That is perfect. Next, we are going to work on the front wall. To begin, place an additional 2 smooth quartz block on top of every single smooth quartz. There's not too many of them. Then, with the outer pairs of smooth quartz, we can place glass to form windows. So between these two and these two. Here is where we have doors, so these are just kind of like the push glass doors. So we'll have a row of glass pane like this on the outsides with a door handle in the form of an iron bar in front of the middle glass pane. Then we are going to use light grey concrete to just extend our side walls all the way across the top of the main entrance area, and we can just completely fill around this in using the light grey concrete. So just across the top of the door frame like this. We can fill this little gap in here. And then everything else. Then we are going to come to this position and place a row of 3 light grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, extending out from the wall. We will then extend up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We will then place 2 polished tough blocks, then a polished tough slab, and then we will do the same on the opposite side, so extending from here, 1, 2, 3 light grey concrete, and then up by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 tough blocks, then a slab, which we will extend all the way across to the right, just like this. We can connect the bottom of our light grey concrete area together. So actually not just that row, we can connect the entire bottom together. Next, we are going to place 2 light grey concrete extending inwards from both sides of the bottom row of our empty space. We can then place yellow concrete in between, and then extend up by 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. Then we can fill the remaining empty space in using light grey concrete. To give us this. Then we are going to fill the right side in here with light grey concrete up to this position. Then we will add an extra row of light grey, and the purpose of this is so that we can extend the upside down stone stairs from the sides to connect to it, and then the slabs on top like this, and they can extend forwards. And we can do the exact same thing on the opposite side as well, so extend up to here, add a row, and then add the upside down stairs, and then the slabs on top joining back to the sign. And then later on, we will, as a matter, so shall we use stone for that? It actually doesn't matter, so I'm just going to add a row of light grey concrete here. It actually doesn't matter. And then we will just fill the top of this in with the polished tough slab. And ultimately, the entire top of this building is going to get filled in. And I'm thinking about that we should probably just do this now. Let's fill the entire top of this in using the polished tough slab. Now that we have filled in the roof, we are going to come all the way back down to this point, where we will place a polished tough stair, and then one to the right, and then we will place cyan terracotta extending down from those stairs, all the way to the ground. Then, on the opposite side, we will do the same thing. So here, stair, extend left, and then cyan terracotta extending all the way down. Just like this. Then, right of this cyan terracotta, we will leave a gap of 1 and place a polished black stone wall. Leave a gap, place a wall, place backwards facing skeleton skulls on top, and then do the same thing on the opposite side. So leave a gap of 1, wall, gap of 1, wall, and then place backwards facing skeleton skulls on top. Just like this. Next, on the opposite side of the cyan terracotta, we will count and find the 4th block extending out. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And here we will place a stripped spruce wood, 2 on top. Place oak leaves all the way around the stripped spruce. Add a layer of leaves on top. Then add a plus shape on top of the leaves, like this. Then place a large fern behind the tree on the left and right side, with a fern here and here, like this. Whilst we are on this side of the build, we also want to place an upside down polished tough stairs right here. So it has a row of 3 light grey concrete on the left, a row of 3 light grey concrete on the right, and just 1 layer above. And that's the correct position for that stair, with a glow item frame underneath. And once you've done this on this side of the build, we want to do the exact same thing on the left. So we count to the left of this cyan terracotta, find the 4th block, 1, 2, 3, 4, place the 1, 2, 3 stripped spruce, add oak leaves all the way around the top, add a layer on top, add a plus shape on top of the leaves, just like this, and then place a large fern behind the tree left and right, and then a regular fern here and here. And then we will place our upside down polished tough stair right here in the middle of this wall, glow item frame underneath, and just remember 3 blocks to the left, 3 blocks to the right, 1 block above. Next, a bit of landscaping. First of all, we are just going to dig around the tree areas, and we are going to create a rectangle, just like this. And we want to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. So if you're careful just to remove the grass from around the outer ferns, like this, then that is the amount of grass that we want to retain. Not only that, we can dig 1 row further in front of this. So from here, all the way to the opposite side here, and we can remove all of the remaining grass and grid from around the belt, from behind that line basically, minus the areas that we marked out for the trees, of course. Trying to find a good angle to destroy 2 rows at once so that it's nice and smooth, and I'm failing miserably. So that's all the way around, and then we can just do in between all of this as well. It doesn't matter if we clip into the actual store as well, because all of that floor will have to be replaced. It is either stone or carpet in there pretty much. And by carpet I mean wool that is meant to be carpet instead of the actual carpet blocks. There we go, perfect. So now we can just fill this entire area in with smooth stone. I am opting just to fill around the outside of the building in first with the smooth stone, and then we can do all of the complicated bit at the front later, because we ultimately want to end up there anyway, as there are some car parking spaces in front of the store. Whilst I was making this, I was wondering to myself whether it was a waste of time adding like a path around and adding the car parking spaces that are there, by the way, like in the movie trailer, and all of the leaves and the grass and the trees. I didn't know if that was a waste of time, but I ultimately want to put this in my city, and I want it to blend into the city, so I thought that it would be worth the extra effort to make it look a little bit nicer as well. So we've added the path all the way around the build, and I'm just going to connect it together at the front here, and then fill everything else in between. And then all the way over here on the right, there is a bin. So we are just going to place this in line with the first cyan terracotta. And it's just a cauldron with an oak trapdoor above it. And this is what we are working with so far. Next, we are going to remove some more grass. So from here to here, and all of the blocks in front, we will remove all of these. And we will replace those blocks with smooth stone. And we will also remove 2 rows on the right and left sides of the build as well. So just continuing that path from there to there. And the same thing on the opposite side. And that carves out the car parking spaces for us nicely, as from here, in this corner, we place 3 yellow carpet, 1, 2, 3, remove this block, place smooth quartz, 3 more carpet, 1, 2, 3, smooth quartz, 3 more carpet, just like this. And then we are free to remove all of the remaining grass and grids. Extend the smooth quartz forwards, and then we can fill all of these gaps in with cyan terracotta. Or something else if you like. I did consider like stone or andesite as well, and I might even change it at a later point, but that is what we want to do to not only that side but this side as well. So 3 yellow carpet, I'm going to place all the carpet first, create the split in between all of them, and then we can just remove all of the grass and grids and replace this with cyan terracotta. I kind of want to try andesite. Okay, so this is what it looks like with cyan terracotta, and this is andesite. You see, I do kind of like that a little bit better, just so that we get yet another shade of grey in here. But as I did use cyan terracotta in the original, I will keep it. Last thing before we head inside, ladies and gentlemen, we must make the dreaded sign. Throw down the limb, open it up, place a yellow banner in there with some red dye. First of all, we are going to make the letters to spell out Captain Clerks. So apply the Pale Dexter pattern, Chief, and then base pattern, and that is C. Next is A, which is the Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, Chief, and then Fast pattern. Next is P, which is the Pale Sinister pattern. Put yellow dye in there, Perfess inverted pattern, red dye back in, and then Fess, Pale Dexter, Chief. Next is an apostrophe, which is simply the Chief Sinister Canton pattern. Next is N. This is the Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, and then Bend pattern. Next is kind of like a ship's steering wheel, I guess you would call it. So yellow banner, flower charge, brown die, that's it. Then, back to the letters. Yellow banner, red die. We have to make L. This is the Pale Dexter pattern, and then the base pattern. Next is R. This is Pale Dexter, Chief, Ben. Next is K. I don't know why I put that there. Pale Dexter, Ben, and then Ben Sinister. And then lastly is S. This is just the Chief, Base, and Bend pattern. We can then destroy this loom, head all the way up to our sign here, and starting from this position, place C, A, P, apostrophe, N, the wheel, C, L, A, R, K, apostrophe, and then sadly, I wish that we had room for that, S, right on the end. And there we have Ottoman clocks. This, in my opinion, is the best looking version of the sign. It's just very simple. However, if you wanted it to look a little bit more like the movie sign, you could apply yellow terracotta to both the top and the bottom. You could then apply, or leave it like this, or you could then go one step further and apply dark oak signs to the base of this. There's a strip of black underneath the sign in the trailer, and that's the closest I could get to replicating it. And then there is just a giant, I'm assuming, Ottoman clock on the actual sign as well. The only way that I could kind of replicate that with such a limited amount of space is by placing the Graham painting here, or alternatively here, or alternatively maybe even here. So I personally prefer it the simplified version, but I would understand if you wanted to try and by the way, the pirate is meant to be a bit bigger or taller than the other sign. So yeah, it's up to you which one you want. I'll keep it like this just because it is like a little bit closer, but I definitely prefer it the other way. With that final detail added, ladies and gentlemen, we can finally head inside and begin work on the interior. And that certainly isn't creepy at all. Step 1, ladies and gentlemen, we have to make the walls. We certainly can't leave this just out in the open. So to begin, we will place a row of cyan terracotta extending from here along the base of our pre-existing walls, all the way to the back and along the base of the back rooms, and we want to leave this bit open, so just extend across the entrance like this, all the way to this side wall, all the way to the front, and then we will stop just next to the window. And then we will place rows of white concrete on top of this, extending all the way up to the roof. And, well, that's what we want to do, unfortunately. So it is going to take a little bit of time, but it will completely transform this place. And once we reach this point right here, we just want to extend across the top of the windows as well. And that will give us this. This looks a lot more hospitable. Whilst we're at it, we should make the ceiling as well. So we just want to place a quartz pillar positioned like this, just directly underneath our roof. So just from front to back. I do realise that some of these blocks haven't been placed correctly, but I'm just going to fix them afterwards because it's just so finicky for some reason. Like, out of all of the blocks, like, pillar quartz just seems to be so emotional for some reason. There's so many placed the wrong way. This is crazy. Okay, so let's find all of the incorrectly placed ones. Would they that might be it. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, I might just have to go hunting for these later on as well, but I think for the most part, that is all of them. It's kind of hard to see unless you get really up close, but there we go. That's perfect. This is a lot better. Next, so let's make the floor. So to begin, we will just extend the smooth stone at the front of the room across to the side, so there is even and level with the edge of these windows. We will then extend the smooth stone, or the last two rows of the smooth stone, all the way to the back wall, like this, so just on both sides. We will then connect it across to these pre-existing two smooth stone that we placed earlier, and then we will fill all of these empty spaces in with smooth stone, and this gives us a pathway just all the way around the edge of the showroom. Not even around the edge actually, it just kind of tours us all the way around the showroom. So it will look like this. It's kind of hard to show you the whole thing because of the roof, but now that we have done that, we will remove all of the remaining grass from inside of the showroom. And we will replace all of... Well, okay, I missed this part. I spoke too soon. And we will replace all of it with grey wool. And there we go. That is the floor, walls, and ceiling. Except not all of it, actually. There's still more of that stuff. So next, we are going to head all the way over to here, where we will place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 cyan terracotta extending along the edge of this path, and then left 1, 2, 3, just like this. We will then place smooth quartz stair. So, on top of the cyan terracotta, we will stack white concrete. So that's step 1. Just all the way up to the ceiling like this, creating a false wall. We will then extend the false wall to the real wall here and seal it up. And then we are going to extend our stairs up as well. And there's 2 ways to deal with these stairs. So these stairs can extend all the way up like this, and they can go nowhere. And you can just like replace this back wall here with black concrete so that it just looks nice and ominous, which is something that I quite like. Or if you want it to be ever so slightly creepier, we can extend back a few rows like this, as many as you like, and then we can extend the hallway in a bit, so that it kind of like adds to the level of creepy, in my opinion. So just all the way up here, we can kind of like box it in a little bit like this. And then we can add the black concrete to the end. So it's a little bit more ominous, like you actually have to go up there, like you can see it from here. And then, oh, I suppose that this would want to be pillar quartz as well, but so just extend it like this. So you've got a couple of options. I think that might be a little bit creepier. And I did actually consider that this could have been the entrance into the Backrooms. Like maybe you could have like fallen into it. But in the trailer, the movie trailer, you quite clearly like walk through a wall, just like in the showroom somewhere. So, but there is a set of stairs in the trailer, and that's what that is. There are also some support beams to add as well. So place a cyan terracotta in this position, and then the same thing on the opposite side, so here, and then here. And then we will just add another cyan terracotta on top of these, smooth quartz block extending all the way up, just like this. This is on both sides. And then the idea is to add iron trapdoors between these, and also just extending all the way to the walls on the sides, front to back, and also in between the support beams on both sides as well. So just kind of like connecting everything together in kind of like a web. So here, and I'll do the other one as well. And all the way through to this side here. So they will just connect together in a rather large grid, effectively. And lastly, now that we've done that, we do also... So we can leave it like this, or there is meant to be a row in between them as well. So like dangling down here, as in the trailer there's some like dangling signs. It's like clearance sale and this much off and A24. So we want them right here, kind of like in the middle of this section, and that looks pretty good. Oh, and then of course we do then have to extend these outwards. I will say I'm not certain about placing them right in the middle here. I might even test placing them along the back row there, because it looked better before, but we will see. That is pretty much the entire structure of the showroom complete, so now let's add some details. Starting all the way over here in this corner, let's stack a row of 2x2 shulker boxes like this, with a chest in front. We will then place 5 rows of bookshelves to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we will make these 2 rows high. And then we can stick chiseled bookshelves on top, leave a gap of 1, and then place a row of black concrete in front of that, with end rods on the ends, with pale oak slab on top of the end rods. End rods on the ends just kind of struck me as funny for some reason. And then a polished blackstone stair here, an item frame here. Then we will place an acacia button here. And then off to the right, we will place 2 stripped spruce wood in this position. And destroy a 2x2 square in this wall and place stripped spruce in there instead. Then we will place flipped up spruce trapdoors left and right of this. And then across here to join together. And then we have to add just another row so that we can extend across the sides and the top of the stripped spruce here. So we can just place them just like this. And that makes a really nice looking shelf. Then leave a gap of 2 here, and then on this corner we will place a grass block and clad it with dark oak trapdoors and stick a large fern in it. Then we will place a scaffolding in this position. And then lastly, we are just going to stick an iron door here for the entrance into the back rooms and then a pressure plate in front. Now, the reason that I chose an iron door in the first place instead of something more clever is that it's just a really nice simple way to get like just trapped in here. Like there's no pressure plate, there's no way out. You can tunnel out of course, but you know, where's the fun in that? But alternatively, if this still works, now we can place signs here and then a painting here, and then you can kind of like phase in and out of the back rooms. This is a pretty solid idea as well, if you like, and it's also like hidden that way. So if you don't want to specifically get stuck, like I think that this is not only like a little bit cooler in that you can kind of just accidentally end up in here, or if you do just want the simple door, then you certainly could do that as well. I think either option is quite cool, to be honest, so I'll leave it up to you. Next, we have to make a bunch of chairs around this area. The first one is made by placing an oak stair right here in this position. And then we leave a gap of 2 extending back, and then we place a spruce stair. Then we kind of leave a gap of 3 like extending around, and then we place a birch stair here. Then we leave another gap of 3, 1, 2, 3 to the right, and place a mangrove stair. We then leave another gap of 3 kind of like curving around again, and then we place a pale oak stair in this position, and then a gap of 2 and a warped stair. And then, kind of like in the middle of this area, we place a lectern facing this way, and then an oak trapdoor flipped up just like this. And then we just grab the sign that matches the stair, and then we place them directly onto the sides of the stair. And these are basically just a bunch of armchairs. Perfect. Next, we will head all the way over to the right side of the showroom, where first of all, we will place a mangrove plank here, leave a gap, and then stack 2 chiseled bookshelves here, stripped oak wood to the right, then leave a gap of 1 in front of this mangrove plank and place a warp slab, leave a gap, place an acacia pressure plate, leave a gap and place a scaffolding. To the right of this, we will place 3 warped stairs connected together like this. Then we will remove 3 rows of grey wool in front of these stairs and replace that with cyan wool. Place birch slabs up the middle like this, and then warped stairs along the opposite side just like this. We can then stick a scaffolding here in this position, and then chiseled bookshelves here, so just 1, 2. Next, we will place a 2x2 square of bookshelves in this corner. And in this position, we will place a composter with 2 oak leaves on top. Leave a gap of 1 and then place 2 end rods extending up from the ground with a white glazed terracotta on top of that. And this is the right side of the showroom complete. It's kind of hard to see the whole thing because of these pillars, but that's what it should look like. Then moving all the way onto the opposite side, all the way over here on the left, we will place 2 red wool extending along this wall and then extend forwards by 2 rows. place white carpet at the top here. Then leave a gap of 1. And here we will place 2 stripped oak wood in this position. Then leave another gap and then place 2 rows of 3 blue wool extending from the wall with white carpet at the top. Then we will place an end rod here, lantern here, and surround the lantern with mangrove signs. Then a flower pot here, azure bluette inside of it. Then we will make a shelf here by placing 2 dark oak trapdoors with a crafting table on top of 1. Then we can apply some paintings to the walls. So directly above this bed here, we want to place a 1x2 painting. I'm not too particular at which paintings we use, by the way, so a 1x2 here. We will have a 2x2 here. Well, okay. We will have a 2x2 here. That is like one of the ugliest paintings. I guess I do mind. Okay, that one's fine. So a 2x2 here. And then I want to place a 1x1 here. So just above this wall. And then a 1x1 here. And a 1x1 here as well. And maybe we can have just like a 2x1 here. And then that might be it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think that there's really too many other places that we could put them. Earlier, I mentioned that there are some hanging signs in the middle of the showroom. So the first sign is literally like right in the center of this middle set of iron trapdoors. So from here, we want to suspend 2 iron bars just like this. It lines up with the entrance into the back rooms, as you can see. We then leave a gap of 1 on both sides, and we place 1, 2, 3 iron bars extending down. So a gap of 1, 1, 2, 3, just like this. And then we leave a gap of 2, so 1, 2, and then we place 2 chains dangling down. So on both sides, a gap of 2, 1, 2, and then 2 chains hanging down. So underneath the chains, we are going to have pale oak signs or pale oak hanging signs, and you know, or we can just like write sale just in letters and like, oh no, 99% off, you know, whatever you want to write, just something dangling down from the signs. You could even write like a little Easter egg if you wanted to, like look inside the painting or something fun like that. And then in front of these iron bars, we want to place some banners, and we have to make them first. So throw down loom, open it up, place a white banner in there with red dye. The first banner we want to make is just the letter A. So this is Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, Chief, and then Fess. So A. And then the next is 2, which is just Chief, Base, and then Ben Sinister. And then lastly is 4. So this is the Pale Dexter pattern. White dye in there, per Fess inverted, red dye back in, Fess, and then Pale Dexter. So, or Pale Sinister, I should say. But regardless, we can then place these. So A goes here, 2 goes here, 4 goes here, and once you've done that, you have fully completed this build. With that final detail added, we have officially completed this tutorial, ladies and gentlemen. However, this video is not over. We must now add Captain Clark's Furniture Store / the Backrooms into our city. Guys, we have a minor predicament. A perfect location would be the new suburban suburbs, where somewhere around here we could make a strip mall and have Captain Clark's Furniture Store featuring the Backrooms be part of that strip mall. However, as you can see, the new suburban suburbs is going through some changes right now, and that's not really possible. I also considered adding it to the retail park here, but I quite like it how it is, and I don't want to just keep expanding it. So for now, I think that it's best just to place it over here, and we can start building a strip mall all the way over in this location, and if need be, we can always move it in the future. With the current state of the new suburban suburbs, I just don't know what else to do. You may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labelled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Lightmatica and World Edit, so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of Mini-City. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.